Welcome everyone to LGE coverage of the Monaco Grand Prix for round 12 of MNR. We're just waiting for everyone to ready up into the qualifying session. Of course, our usual 18-minute session. I said yesterday, the end of the sprint week, came back to normal format for a few more weeks until we go back for one more sprint. So yeah, we're just ready to get the qualifying session underway. I'm on my own tonight. No Lee with me tonight. He's not feeling very well. Apex is saying he's so excited in the chat already, and it's actually night, and I'm not sure if that was. One second, guys. Sorry. Yeah, Apex. I think Big Ray's made a bit of a mistake here. And I'm not sure if the yeah, this is. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't laugh, but get some. He's actually going out on an outlap, so I think we are going to do this at night actually, which is rather strange. I don't think I've ever commentated on a night race, but I don't know if anyone can see actually still who's in the pits and is listening. Is it going to be night time for the race? Because it should say, if there's like cloud, it'll have like it should have a moon behind it, I think, if it's night. Or is it sunshine? Or well, anyway, we're going to do this at night for qualifying. Just seeing Warren about to enter the tunnel, and everyone, of course, on their outlaps. No one has started their first flying lap just yet, and just seeing the pink Spartan retire from the session there. 1 second, guys. Just checking with some people. We'll just catch people on their laps. And we're back, guys. Sorry about that, as we're obviously still in qualifying, still in the night, and Stinos is on provisional pole at the moment with a 1:10.1. I'm sure the times aren't going to be as fast as we used to, as it is night time. The track temperature will be lower, and that therefore there will not be as much grip given from the track surface to the tyres, and obviously that'll make a massive difference here at Monaco. Is there's little to no straights, and what straights there are, they're really not straight at all, are they? They've all got some sort of radius in the straight itself. Seen a McLaren there, just in the middle of nowhere. I think he was just waiting to come into the pits there. Tommy is back in the session. I think Spartan's crashed out. He's going to join back before the start of qualifying for the race. Sorry. Still wondering. Can anyone tell me, Apex? Is it going to be a nighttime race, or is it just qualifying? Just trying to find out if the race is in the day. Just seeing a little problem with Apex there potentially. James Biscuit goes fastest with a 1:09.9 there. So it's a day race, and is it a dry race, Apex? Just tell me when you get into the pits. So it's just a nighttime qualifying, and we'll get into a day race. That is very odd indeed, but it's just the way it's turned out. It's strange that you can do night races at Monaco. Certainly makes it a lot harder. Actually, Apex, you can tell me, do you find it easier at night actually, or is it harder at night? Actually no, he's on an out lap, so we'll leave him to it as he just starts his flying lap. Big Weir is on an out lap as well. So James Biscuit is on provisional pole at the moment into the 1:09s. Stinos surely going to come out and try and top the standings next time around. Vedran looks like he's potentially on a lap as well. There's obviously T past us. Both Alpine's not set a lap yet. Trunders isn't out and out on track just yet, but Tay is about to start his first flying lap as he comes around turn 1. There was some Mercedes there on the inside, did get out of the way nicely there. Not sure who that was. I think it might have been Warren. As we see him come around Casino now of turn 4 and down into Mirabeau, turn 5 in the Grand Hotel hairpin, and into the 2 portiers, and so there is no respite on this circuit whatsoever as he comes around. Second portier clips the wall on the apex, and that is most certainly going to have ruined his lap. I think he's probably going to try and finish it as he comes through the tunnel and into the Noval chicane. He does cut across it but gets away with track limits there as we come down to the back. This short straight, the only straight in the only straight on the circuit actually, is he gets a big kick of oversteer out of the second swimming pool section there and around Rascasse and into Anthony Noakes, and does drift wide of the apex there as he takes the shortest line to the lines. He goes 11th there with a 1:12.3. I think he's got a lot more in his pocket there, but he did make a few mistakes. Seeing what other drivers are on laps. I think Yo-Yo's finished his lap with Iron Kwan. A new driver did his trial earlier on today, and he's just reserving in the McLaren, not taking a full-time seat just yet. He is into the pit lane. I think Warren is on a lap in the Merc. He comes around Daisy has left the session now. We'll try and give him a quick invite there. There's another new driver, of course, and he hasn't even set a lap yet, so we'll make sure to get him back into the session. So we're just seeing Neuro on his lap in the Red Bull. He says he's taken purple sector 1 there, but we always take that with a pinch of salt because it does sometimes lie to you. Not saying he hasn't done it, but it definitely does lie to you quite a lot of the time as he comes around the second portier and down into the tunnel. It usually goes quite dark in here, but of course it's pretty much the same amount of light as you're getting all over the circuit this time of the day as he comes around the Noval chicane there, and he doesn't get the best exit. Got a really good entry though, and I think he just compromised his exit from that really, really good. As the Ferrari driver Daisy's just come back into the lobby, see what Neuro does across the line, goes 7th fastest with 11.3 there, and the midfield's looking pretty close. And James looks like he's on another lap. He does have a bit of a problem there at the exit of the second portier as he comes down into the harbour front and clips the wall on the entry there with his rear left tyre. He was really close with his front left and just had that little bit too much of a margin. Not enough of a margin. I'm getting all my words mixed up tonight. Because I'm on my own, I've got no Lee, I don't feel comfortable, so I don't know if Lee's watching. If you are, mate, I hope you feel a little bit better soon. We're seeing if Anthony can do any better on a lap. I'm not sure if he's just completed a lap. He potentially has. We'll have a look at Big Weir, the man responsible for us doing this nighttime qualifying, so you better hope that he can take advantage from it as he goes purple sector 2. He's really on it there through the swimming pool section as he comes down to Rascasse. He has got a Williams of Vedran ahead. He has to take 2 bites of the cherry at Rascasse as he comes around Anthony Noakes and is about to come across the line. Is he going to beat his time? He did by 3 and a bit tenths, and he goes into 4th now. So there is a bit of a battle. The championship leader is in 5th place with 4.5 minutes left on the clock. I think Big Weir's got enough time to get round to do another lap on a fresh set if he has it. Tommy, who hadn't set a lap yet, is back out on track and is about to come around Anthony Noakes, having some connection issues potentially there maybe. As we see him cross the line now, does a 1:14.9, goes 14th fastest, and Daisy has still yet to come out of the pits. We've got to get the Pink Spartan back into the session though. Before the end, we're just waiting to see some drivers. Tay is out on an outlap. Ami Aguna has just set a lap time of a 1:10.7. They're still off James by quite a little bit, apart from Stinos, and Anthony's not too far away either. I think Big Rouge just going straight for another lap on the same set of tyres. There's not really any point. I haven't put the tyre situation up because it's not really any point, because everyone is going to go onto the softs here at Monaco because it's notoriously difficult to overtake around here. As a Big Weir has actually set a better time, he went straight on to another lap. I didn't even realise he's gone 3rd fastest with a 1:10.3, 1/10 up on Anthony, a few tenths down, a couple of tenths down on Stinos and a few tenths down on James Biscuit. As we just see Stinos getting out of the way of Big Weir, but he's not on a lap, so no need to worry about that. We've got Iron Kwan, who's just crossed the line, I think, there to finish a lap, and he's just done a 1:12.132. But there certainly is a bit of a close battle of the midfield, somewhat from around Trunders all the way up to Big Weir. It's just over a second in Monaco. That's quite close, I must say, as Big Weir now dives into the pit lane. Stinos is on an outlap. I think Big Weir is going to be struggling to be able to get another lap in. His teammate is already out on track. Yo-Yo as you usually see on Tuesdays, reserving in the Aston Martin. Tonight we've got Tay. It looks like he's going to start his final lap. Not getting the best exit. I think Tay's struggling on this circuit. Apex is out on an out lap. Looks like he's just trying to burn as much fuel as possible. James is just coming out for his first fly. Quite getting out of the way of traffic, especially his teammate there. As we're still seeing the white Red Bull in the night, actually. It's the first time I've actually seen it in a night race, and it does look even better, I must say. We've seen a Williams and is that, I'm not too sure. Oh, and there's a problem here with traffic at the final corner. Everyone's on the rush to get on their laps. We're seeing another problem here with Stinos, potentially, I think. And did he get involved in a bit of an issue there? I'm not sure if he's going to be have enough time to get another lap in. Amir Guna goes second with a 1:10.1 as well, so they're very, very close together. James still hasn't. I think, yeah, Stinos is going to have plenty of time to get round to start a lap. Big Rear is out on an out lap, but that's going to be tight, and I just don't think he's going to make it. I think he's just got the call wrong on that one when he came in. I'm sure he came out as fast as he could, but I think it's a little bit too close to call. Anthony is about to start a lap as well. Apex was on a lap, but he's really struggling here at Monaco. The championship leader down in 7th. Tay Pasta's gone up to 6th. Anthony's just about to start his lap with 30 seconds left on the clock. Big Rear is not going to make the time here. He doesn't cut the chicane, which is very good of him. He's not able to do that. And Stinos and James Biscuit is now on the lap. The man on provisional pole is starting his final flying lap. And just keep an eye on Big Rear. He's got 10 seconds. He's just going to miss it ever so slightly, which is really unfortunate for him. Yo-Yo is on the lap. We're going to work out which drivers are going to be first to cross the line on their final attempt. So, yeah, I think Amir Guna is out for this one. Now we've got a bit of a gap. We've got Trunders potentially. No, he's already out. And Nero is out, and Vedran is also out. Were they both out in the same place, or is that just a coincidence? You've seen them all come through now. That's going to ruin a load of drivers' laps potentially there, I think. I'm not too sure how long he stayed there for, but we're going to have to keep an eye out now. That did cause a bit of carnage. Stinot is in the pit, so it looks like James is going to take a pole position here anyway, and he goes even faster with a 109.3, and that was a bit of a serious lap time there from James Biscuit. Iron Quan is going to come into the pits, and that is the end of qualifying. Apex did say something about losing his front wing a few moments ago. So I think we're just waiting for Iron to be backed into his garage, and we'll get underway with the race. 3 drivers didn't set laps. 1 driver didn't crash out, but just didn't set a lap, and that was Daisy, and he's going to start in 16th. I'm not sure if the Pink Spartan has actually joined back yet. So the final order for qualifying: James Biscuit takes another pole position he did yesterday in Russia. Amir Guna is in 2nd. Stinos is in 3rd. Big Weir rounds out the 2nd row. Anthony is in 5th. 6th is Tay Pasta. Apex is in 7th. 8th is Nero. Vedran is in 9th. Yo-Yo is in 10th. 11th is Trunders. Warren is 12th. Iron is in 13th. 14th is Tommy. Boosted is in 15th. 16th is Daisy, who didn't set a lap at all, and the Pink Spartan is in 17th. So we're right, it is a day race and a night qualifying, so that was a very strange one. It's looking like a dry day as well here at Monaco, so no drama on the weather front by the looks of things. Just waiting for the drivers to sort out their setups and what have you. Setup, sorry, there won't be any tweaks to setup, it'll all be about strategy. Sorry, I was trying to concentrate on two things at once, and that is just something I can't really do. As Barry, Mr. Basil, says, first turn's going to be nasty. No heroics into Sandoval, Barry. You should have heard that a few times. As we're just seeing the start of the formation lap. I'm not sure if the Pink Spartan is back. So we'll have a quick look at the tyre situation. Well, he's seeing the leader into 48.2 there. There's quite a gap, so we'll have a quick look at the tyres. So everyone from 11th back, all 7 drivers, on the medium tyres. So that is a really interesting strategy, so keep an eye out for that, especially drivers like Trunders. That is certainly going to be interesting. It's a very, very bright sky out there. We're just about to see these drivers form up on the grid and get this race started in a few moments' time. Right, everyone, we've got 39 laps of this Grand Prix, just waiting for the Pink Spartan to form up on the grid. We will get a better camera angle in a few moments' time. We'll see the run down to Sandoval for the first time. Have got lap 1, it's not, and we're ready to go with 5 lights, and we're away for MNR for the Monaco Grand Prix. Looks like Amir Guna got a really good start there, and he's got up into the lead into turn 1. There's a bit of side by side there for Tate Pasta and Big Weir, and Big Weir now moves up to 4th place, or defends his 4th place as we come around Massenet now and into Casino, and James Biscuit has lost that 1st place, still side by side. Big Weir has now got himself a bit of an issue there and causing an issue with Apex as well, and there is some utter carnage there from Big Weir, causing all of that incident there with his front wing now gone. Apex was caught up in it as well, and there's some traffic towards the back as well, the Pink Spartan, and everything is almost gone wrong at the start of this race, but the front 3 are moving away quite nicely. They've just made a little bit of a gap from Tay Passer as they come down towards to back, and Big Weir's going to have to get right out of the way there. I'm not too sure what happened with him. We didn't actually fully see it. He is going to have to pit. We've got other drivers behind just getting a little impatient. It is only lap 1. It is in Monaco. Got to be very, very careful. Neuro is out of the race. Is that going to be a safety car deployed? Because that might be a bit of a godsend there for Big Weir, but it doesn't look like it just yet. His car is in a really precarious position there. Big Weir now comes out of the pits in 13th place. We'll go back towards the front. Amir Guna is still in the lead of this race with a 2/10 deficit. Is James going to have a look into the Novell chicane? He does look to the inside. There is a lock-up from Amir Guna there, but he's able to hold the position. Stinos has dropped back just a little bit. You see the dust all being kicked up there off the racetrack as we come through to back in the first part of the swimming pool section. And some of these drivers are going to have to make some serious overtakes now. It's to say that Amir Guna and James Biscuit, they're both got a bit of wing damage, I think. And Stinos is now going to go through. I think James was trying a bit of a drastic move there. Anthony now moves up into third place. Tay Pastor takes the fastest lap, and now Anthony does after that. Apex is into the pits as well. Trunders is going to move up into fifth place on the medium tyres, and Iron Kwan is moved up to sixth place. And all these drivers on the medium tyres. We'll see where Big Weir comes to play in all of this. I think he's still going to be behind those drivers, but that's going to be nice for him to see. And he's back into the pits again. I think a lot of these drivers have already been pissed, and Anthony is right on the back of Tay Passer. This is the fight for second place. Stinos is leading out in front at the moment. Championship leader as it stands is getting no points, and he's got a good margin as we think Leclerc is not coming back, so that fight is over with. Anthony, though, he's had a bit of a fight with the wall, and looks like he's come off worse with some front wing damage potentially there, and it looks like he definitely has. And these drivers are all struggling already. We're going to see this throughout this whole race. 39 laps of this. It is pretty grueling, I must say. Trunders is very, very close to the back of this soft running yo-yo there in the Aston Martin, as he has to now dive into the pits as well. And this is going to be multiple stop strategies for a lot of these drivers. Dozy has moved up into 8th place. He's made a lot of gains from these pit stops. As Warren is having a few issues there, and Big Weir is now down in 16th and last as he comes through the Novell chicane. See how close some of these fights are out on track. Tommy now hits the wall and is lagging all over the place. Daisy goes to the inside at Mirabeau, and he's going to come down to the Grand Hotel hairpin, and Tommy is definitely having some connection issues there, and Amir Guna is catching up pretty prompto along with James Biscuit, and Anthony is not too far behind them, but obviously he had to pit as well. That's why he's dropped down with the championship leader. You see there from the rear, Diffuser, he's just coming through 48.2, and he's got a bit of a gain to make up there. Amir Guna is now 7/10 behind Tommy, who's definitely having some serious connection issues there. He's almost having a race of his own as he classes the wall there out of the second part of the and now he goes into the pits, and I think Amir is going to get some DRS as well, so that's going to just let him stretch his margin a little bit to James Biscuit. I said Tommy comes into the pits, and that was a bit frightening there. I'm not sure where Tommy is. He's back on track. There's something awfully going on there, but Tommy will leave that boosted. He's lost his front wing. Big Weir is trying to make up some positions. Sad Pancake is right down at the bottom at the moment, and almost going to get lapped from Stinos already on lap 5. And so Stinos is really commanding this lead at the moment. Tay's trying to keep her, but Pink Spartan isn't actually in the session. Stinos gets past rather easily there. We've got James Biscuit really, really close to the back of Amir Guna. They both had to dive into the pits for it looked like a collision at Rasgas. I'm sorry, we'll just get back to the action there. It's quite hard when you haven't got someone else with you, especially for me, as I can't multitask. Iron Kwan is all Trunders is facing the wrong way. Drivers need to be careful of yellow flags there. As Amir is trying to get past, but obviously Trunders doesn't have to give way. I'm not sure if Trunders got any damage. I don't think he does. As we're seeing Daisy now trying to go around the outside at Raskas, and now Iron is diving into the pits. Trunders is still staying out, mind you, and Amir Guna is right behind him. This is now going to be a very interesting battle, and who can gain any positions on each other here. And it looks like Amir Guna is, and they go into the wall, and there's contact there between the two of them, and Amir has now come off a lot worse there. I'm not sure what happened. I think Trunders must have moved over at the last second, and that is really not good for Amir Guna, and that might be a little bit of a close one to call. Didn't see that one. 5-second penalty for James Biscuit for causing a severe collision there. That's an unfortunate one for him to be dealing with right now. Trunders has still got to defend against James Biscuit though. I think James is going to go for an attack here into Noval as he looks to the inside. The Red Bull now goes down the inside, and they're going side by side. There's still a bit of wheel banging there, and he now gets through. What a move from the Red Bull driver there. He moves himself up into 4th place. He's now got Daisy ahead of him, who's been running a really, really good race at the moment. Just waiting to see Trunders and how close he can be to these drivers. Trunders is now into the pits. Apex is now up into 8th, almost hitting the wall there. And Amir is now going to come into the pits as well. It's definitely not all over yet though, as a lot of the fast drivers are in the places where you wouldn't really expect them to be. As we're running on lap 8, and we've had certainly a lot of action as it stands. As Amir is in the pits. Big Weir is still not moved up into the points just yet. He may overtake Amir Guna though, but it will be very close. I think it is going to be close, so we will just stick with it. It might not be as close as you think actually, as I think Big Weir is easily going to go through there on Amir Guna and moves himself up into 11th place. So Amir has got some work to do now. Iron is just behind Vedran, also having some rather good pace. Apex is just behind Yo-Yo. There are a few close battles out on track actually. I say that Vedran is now been spun himself round, and he's got to be careful there with the Trunders just alongside him. That could have been a bit of an issue there. Iron has retired, and a load of them and now, oh my days, and Trunders I think is out as well, is he? As everyone has got to be careful. And 3 drivers out in one corner there. That was absolute carnage. And that is why you've got to try and respect the yellow flags. There's corner cutting and all sorts. Stinos has lost his front wing now. This is absolute chaos. We've got 12 drivers left. We have 5 drivers out of this race, and 3 in one corner, and that was a bit of a tricky one, to be fair, as the whole track was completely blocked there, and didn't really know what you could have done there. As a load of these drivers are in the pits. Daisy takes the lead of the race in the Ferrari. He's got, looks like the pink Spartan ahead of him. Not sure where the safety car is though, so I think Daisy, in his first race, I think this is his first race, he may have raced last week as well, I'm not too sure as I wasn't here last week, but definitely his first safety car restart in at most his second race in LFR. And so we're down to 12 drivers now. It's a bit more of a compact grid, but of course it's a safety car. We're all going to bunch up, and hopefully there is going to be some on-track action. Big Weir has got some front wing damage as well. I was just about to say about him. It's Johnny. So James Biscuit there, 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Load of drivers getting a lot of warnings. Sorry about that, guys. Got a friend coming round, and my girlfriend forgot, and I forgot actually. I only just remembered, and then he rang me. So anyway, back to this Grand Prix. Seeing Tommy, who's not in the session, is going to be causing problems at the start of this race. That is most definitely for sure there. And so he's just sitting between third and fourth. He's in last place. And the only man to be lapped, I believe. I think everyone else is still in this race. So Daisy, I think, and Pink Spartan, I think he pitted on that one, but he's not in the session. He's not in the session. Is the only man actually not to have pitted in this race yet, so he is taking a risk, but he is leading the pack. The whole pack is not yet together. We're still waiting for Warren, so we're definitely going to be doing another lap. He's desperately trying to catch up, but he doesn't want to get any front wing damage, because they will get started without him eventually. Yeah, Tommy is the only one who is on lap 10 at the moment. So we will be doing another lap. Of course, we've got Stinos in second place. We've got James Biscuit, who did take pole position in fourth place. Championship leader is in sixth. Big Weir has now moved himself up into the points. It is definitely a very quick set of drivers from Big Weir ahead. Daisy is certainly very consistent here at Monaco, at least, and if he's consistent at Monaco, I think he can be consistent just about anywhere. As we're seeing Warren come round Raskas, he has lost his front wing, and that is going to be an issue. Could have got himself round without pushing so hard. He was going to lose his front wing. I think sometimes here it's best not to go all out, because you can just finish the race and get yourself some really decent points most of the time. As we see him come out of the pit lane. Are we going to do another lap under the safety car for Warren to be able to catch up, or is this going to be all we're going to get? I've got a feeling that this potentially is all we are going to get for the rest of this safety car. I think this may be the very last lap of it, and we will find out in a couple of corners time if that's the case. You'll tell us now. Yep, the safety car is in this lap, and Warren is not going to be able to catch up to the back, so that cost him mistakes to lose his front wing. Actually lost him more time trying to push too hard, and he is really far out of it at the moment. We've got Daisy, who is starting this safety car restart. Never seen him restart. He can go whenever he pleases He gets onto the straight, and I'm sure he's going to go straight away, which he does. And Stinos is right on his tail, but of course he's got much fresher tyres as we come into turn 1. Tay gets a bit of a moment there on the entry of turn 1, and then furthermore onto the exit as we see James trying to hold on to the coattails of Tay past him. We're just seeing if anyone always Amiguna clatters the wall there on the entry towards Casino. So we see him come down into the hairpin now and into Portier 1 and 2. 2/10 separate the top two. Is Stinos going to go for a move into Noval? He's actually round and out of this race. Stinos is out and there is a yellow flag. I think everyone needs to be a little bit careful here as they're all going through. That could be another safety car deployment. That was a very, very strange one. He just lost it of his own accord there. I don't think we're going to get a safety car, but that is now Stinos out of this race. That was not what was supposed to happen. I didn't think that was going to happen. Daisy is running out in front and got himself a little bit of a gap, but we have got all of these drivers with some really, really good pace just behind him. Stinos, one of the favourites, I think, to win the race, and Warren is round and out as well as we just catch him on board. And is that going to produce a safety car? He's right in the middle of the track. Surely that's got to be a safety car. No, not just yet. I think it will probably be cleared before the drivers get there. And we're now at such small numbers in this race. And we are not even at half distance yet. We've only got about 8 drivers left out of 17. And I have to agree, I may start to come to the conclusion. Tay is now out and just went straight on. And Apex is out. As we'll just be back in a moment's time. We're obviously now down to quite a few drivers in this race. Potentially, we may have a red flag and go with what we got from a couple of laps ago. But with the 25%, we'll have to see how that one goes, but at the moment we're seeing a defence from Big Rear as they run up the hill. As we'll just pause the stream for just a moment's time, guys. hopefully everyone can hear me now. I'm really sorry we missed the start of that. People said they weren't able to hear me. Can hopefully Apex says we can hear me now. We're on the run down through Casino on this 20 lap sprint. James has just got away rather nicely there on those soft tyres. As you see Apex get right on the gearbox of Stinos. See him on the run round the second Portier. If anyone's watching who's not racing, can everyone now hear me? Can let me know? That'd be fantastic. His Apex is out already on the first lap. And that is really unfortunate for Apex. Apex, could you hear me? The flag in sector 2, James Biscuit takes the fastest lap as it stands, down to 7 drivers. As Jake, I'm just doing a commentary right now, bud, if you don't mind just leaving the chat if that's alright.
What?
I'm just doing commentary, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Right. Cheers, bud. As got Amir Guna just on the back of Daisy there, and just coming around the second Portier on lap 2 of 20 in this second race, but of course it is about the same distance, just haven't got the right lap counter as they come down into the section. The championship leader is not going to gain any points, and we'll actually have a quick look, as there's not a huge amount of battles happening out on track at the moment. And Amir Guna can really jump right up the field again. Now he's on 77 points, and Apex has got a bit of a deficit to other people. People like Vedran, though, this could be a really good race for him as long as he gets himself back up into those positions. Big Weir is on 68 points. If he get the maximum amount of points, he might be able to get himself back up into position. Guys, if you've been watching this on and off, we did have a long pause. We did start with 17 drivers. A lot of them went out, and we did a red flag to try and get a few of these drivers back for a half distance, and they would have started from where they DNF. But unfortunately, we didn't get as many drivers back as we wanted. We have lost one in this half race, as they come around Raskas on lap 3. As we see James Biscuit into the pits, so he's obviously got himself a bit of damage. Daisy is in first place. Amir Guna is just behind. We have got this train of cars. Big Weir needs to take advantage of those soft tyres, and right now really he needs to gain as many positions as possible. Stinos is just climbing up the hill. I feel like he might have had a bit of an issue there. He has dropped back quite a bit. Vedran's coming around the final corner, so he's not going to gain any positions from that. The top 4 are all very, very close together, as you can see there. Very similar pace between the 4 of them at the moment. I think Daisy's just really being very consistent and consistently quick, I must say, as he gets so close to the wall there. Amir Guna almost runs slightly wide there, and Big Weir is now just dropped back a slightly small margin. Will be within DRS. You can see the dirty air effect around Monaco. It's all about keeping it away from those barriers. You see a lock up there from the driver ahead. Not sure which driver that was. DRS is really not helping Amir Guna at the moment. He just needs to get a really solid exit. But for Big Weir, needs to make some serious challenges for positions in the next couple of laps, because those soft tyres are going to start to run very thin eventually, as we see him coming around into the hairpin. It's all bunched up rather tightly here. Stenos is starting to catch up to the back of this pack. Yeah, it's got a bit of a gap to them, so this front four are all within a couple of seconds of each other. Anthony is just dropping off Amir Guna just a little bit, maybe leaving him slightly vulnerable to Big Weir, as he's now out of DRS range and struggling out of Noval, as there's 5-6 tenths as we go through to back for the top two and through the swimming pool section. Such a fast and probably the most tricky part of the track is these few sections of corners. There is no room for error. Anthony has got back within DRS range. That'll help his defence. Maybe he didn't actually, and Big Weir does have it, so he might be able to close up just a little bit. And 4.3 seconds is the gap now with Stenos, and he is really trying to catch up, but he's definitely struggling somewhat to close up that gap with any sort of real impression. You see James Biscuit takes the fastest lap and is 12 seconds off Stenos at the moment, and really trying to gain some pace. See what his fastest lap was. Done himself a 1:11.1 at the moment, so that is a very serious time from him there. Very, very serious. That's a hell of a lap there. We are down on the fuel load, of course. This is now, it's only a 25% proceeding from that first 18 laps of the 50 before we red flagged. Into third place. In third place at the moment is Anthony, and still very, very close to see Big Weir in that Aston Martin in the background. So it just comes around. Anthony Noakes, his top four still not separated by very much at all. Daisy is certainly the cork in the bottle as it stands, but no place to pass here for Amir Guna just yet. Daisy is low on that battery percentage, and I think that's one of Amir Guna's only chances to say all bottleneck up into their hairpins. You see him get so close to the back of that rear wing, and as soon as Amir Guna gets released from Daisy, which he might do now actually, is he's going to have a run maybe into Noval, as this is one of the best places to have a pop into this chicane. He's just a little too far back. Maybe if you use a bit of overtake, you might have been able to get that done as we go through Noval. And Stenos is really struggling actually. He's lost maybe a bit more time, maybe. Yeah, he has. 1.5 seconds he's lost. All these drivers still within DRS range of one another, as Big Weir dives into the pits, can try and potentially do the undercut here, which might be vital for this race. These three drivers are going to pit a little later on. We're just seeing James Biscuit come around the final corner, seeing Big Weir coming down the pitch straight, and James has just gone past the Dran. It is a long, long way back and getting close to being lapped, or reasonably close, within about 15 seconds of being lapped. These top three are still separated by about 1.5 seconds. It's pretty close, or pretty bang on actually, as they come through Portier 2 and round through the tunnel. We're on lap 8 of 20 of this sprint, and hopefully we'll have a good race for you tomorrow night. We're going to try and get some commentary organised. Unfortunately, the great broom handle we had last week can't attend this week, and as obviously sadly we did lose Justin from Tuesday night and Monday night LFR in general, which was a great shame. But we will try and get a regular Tuesday night. Of course, you may have me when need be. I do love to race, so it's my only night a week that I do race. But we'll see some racing on track right now with Amir Guna going to try and go for some form of overtake potentially. He's going to have to do it in a place where you least expect it, but that does come with some high risks as we come through Casino and down to Mirabeau. And we'll just see how well Big Weir does with this. Is he going to get himself the undercut? These drivers are going to have to pit soon, within the next couple of laps, I would say. So what is going to happen for these three drivers and Big Weir, of course? Stinos has dropped back just a little bit. These three are still concertining up. Who's going to bite the bullet first? Who is going to throw the dice and come into the pits for the soft tyres out of these three? Because I can't call it just at this very moment. It's a bit of a tricky one, and it's interesting to see what might happen in the next 10 or 11 laps. So nothing is separating these three. Big Weir is closing that gap down to 18 seconds. I think James has stopped. This is going to be interesting now. Is his tyres going to last the distance? Can he still pull it out the bag and win this race? It's not out of the question just yet. As we see, Amir Guna still really close to the back. Daisy is still not giving a single quarter just yet. He has been really quite marvellous today in his first race with me commentating, at least. So I don't know if he raced yesterday, but doing that scarlet red Ferrari, the Scuderiers, really proud today around this Monaco circuit. Charles Leclerc would be proud, as you're going to see him come down towards turn one. He's going to fend into Saint Devot. Side by side they go. Daisy gets a penalty for cutting the corner. They do make a slight bit of contact there. That is going to be added to his penalty tally. Anthony comes in. Big Weir goes through, and it's going to have a bit of a margin. We'll see if Anthony got himself any damage. No visible damage. He might have got some floor damage. Can't really tell that. Daisy still holds on though to that first place, but they are going to lose it. People like James are catching up ever so slowly as we're on lap 11 of 20 of this 25% of a 50% that we red flagged earlier on. We had 17 drivers to start off with. We had about 5 drivers left on about lap 18. It was absolutely carnage, and we then got back 8 back into the session to carry on the race. Some who had crashed out, they started in the position where they had DNF'd, and now this is what you are seeing on lap 11. Amir Guna is actually, has Amir lost his wings? He's lost a bit of time as he comes into the pits. Stinos is in the pits as well. That is so Amir did lose his front wing. James now goes through into second place. Big Weir is about to come through and take third place by the looks of things, and we'll see what Daisy does now. It'll be interesting to see what James can do. Is he going to be able to finish this race? He's on 8-lap old mediums. It's quite a big distance there. Amir is rounding into the barrier and into the barrier again. Like, so that is most certainly a bit of a hard pill to swallow there. Vedran might even take the position. You might as well stay to the end. You are going to get points in this race. It is going to be full points in this race. James is surely going to have to pit. James is about to come through. Is James going to win this race? Stinos and Anthony, they've got some mountain to climb here. Daisy still has yet to pit. Big Weir is looking nice and tidy at the moment for at least a second place, potentially, if all things go to plan for the Aston Martin driver. Stinos is coming through. Anthony knows you right on board, or right towards that rear wing, towards looking at Anthony. 10-second penalty for corner cutting there. for Amir Guna. It's a shame, really, because he could still get himself some very decent points. But I think he's probably just going to retire. I think it's just a shame because yeah, he does retire, which is a bit of a shame. He would have still got himself 8 points in the championship. Could have clawed back some of that gap to Apex. And of course, championship leader being out, you want to be grabbing as many points as possible. Vedran, who's still a title contender, it's starting to get ever closer away from some of these drivers, but they are still in with a chance. Daisy is into the pit. Amiguna has left the session. James goes up into first. Big Weir is coming around Anthony Nogues now, and he's most certainly going to take the position. Daisy is just coming out of the pits now. Stinos is coming down the start finish, and pretty close. He may be able to make up that gap, Anthony. And this is going to be a fight for third position, I think. And Daisy, is he going to be able to make up 14 seconds? I don't think that is going to be the case. I think James Biscuit is going to win this race as a reserve, or potentially not. This Red Bull might be his full-time seat, and he might have just grabbed himself 25 points. We were waiting to see if Leclerc would come back, as there was a bit of an instant. Anthony is round into the wall at Portier 2. Is he going to stick with it though? The two Williams are still in the race. The only duo of teammates who are still in the race. Big Weir is looking set for a good result here on lap 15 of 20 in this sprint. Corner cutting penalty there for Anthony. And Daisy, definitely looks like he's got some real good pace here. We might see ourselves with a new really good contender. Is Siri on my iPad is wanting to talk to me. I don't want to talk to you, Siri. I want to concentrate on these last 5.5 laps of this race. Anthony's DNF'd as well. That is such a shame. You would have been getting some decent points. It doesn't make sense. You've done the majority of the thing. You've only got a few laps to go and you get something for it. But no can do. Vedran is going to get 10 points as it stands. Only 5 is going to finish out of the 17 drivers that started this race. I got a feeling we ain't going to be coming back to Monaco for season 3, or potentially even on Tuesday night it might even get dropped, because in some ways I just think Monaco, it's nice to have it, but it is also a little barbaric in a lot of ways. As we're just on lap 16 of 20. James Biscuit is in the lead and looking very comfortably in the lead. Looks like Daisy might be able to take second place. He has got some penalties to be dealing with at the end of this race. Stinos has dropped back just a little bit. We're going to see any sort of fighting between Big Weir and Daisy at the end of the race or not. As James is into the pits. So Big Weir now takes the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix, and Daisy is just behind him now. He has got 3 seconds of penalties to his name, so we'll have to create a gap. He's actually got 6 seconds to his name. I am actually wrong. So it looks like Big Weir may potentially win this race. James Biscuit has just come out the pits in third place. Big Weir is going to claw back some major points here. We'll have a look at fastest lap. That's held by James at the moment. That's an extra point for himself as it stands, and he's on the newest set of tyres along with Stinos, who decided to pit as well. As we cross the line, we're going to have 3 laps to go. Daisy's going to have to get a 6-second deficit to Big Weir. I just don't think that's going to happen. It's going to be a great drive for him though, and he has to be careful of James Biscuit behind, but I think he's got a 5-second penalty to his name. He does go fastest in the final sector. He's just not got enough laps to make up that time. I think those soft tyres are the better tyres, but it just isn't enough here to make any sort of overtake. It's just so difficult. See the front two separated by a few tenths, and it is coming down, but just not enough. Daisy doesn't want to be making any silly mistakes here. He knows he's got at least 1 penalty to his name, and if he really remembers, he'll know he has 2, and there's only 1 and a bit laps to go, 1 2/3 laps to go in this race. As we actually see Big Weir missing the bump there on the exit of Casino. Come down into the old hairpin, and now into Porsche 1 and 2. But it looks like Big Weir is going to take a win here at the Monaco Grand Prix. It's most certainly the hardest win to achieve in a season, and he's going to claw back some points. He's missed a few races due to Daisy's now got himself another penalty. Looks like he's going to drop down to 3rd now, and Biscuit's going to take 2nd place. So we're just waiting to see what happens on the final lap. As I said, Daisy can take the place on the road. I don't think he is going to do it. That would have been his last opportunity there as we run through turn 1. Fair play though, James Biscuit did make up a huge amount of time there. We're just seeing these front two doing their final lap of this race, lap 20. We did 38 laps in the end. We did 18 laps officially in the 50% first race before we red flagged, and then the 20. So we're only 1 lap short of full distance, but we're over the 75%. We're allowed to award full points. And so we see Daisy just almost cutting the corner there, really just trying to harass the back there, and yellow flag from behind, I think, for James Biscuit. But Big Weir is going to come home to win the Monaco Grand Prix, and Daisy comes home in 2nd, but potentially 3rd. Depends where he crosses the line, and we'll have to work that out. But I think Daisy is going to take 3rd place after penalties are applied for both races. Just waiting for Stinos and Vedran, and Vedran is a little way back, but he's going to get himself 10 points. But Jason Big Weir taken a win. I'm not sure if this is his first win or not. I don't think so. Well, guys, that is the end of this race. It's getting very late, so we will try and wrap this up quickly. Big Wheel gets driver of the day in this race. I would have to say I'll agree with that. He'll be very happy with that performance. So we'll just quickly go on to the final classifications. There was 8 in this 25%, and there was 17 at the very start. But Big Wheel takes the win. Daisy is in second in this format, but after penalties are applied, he's going to take third. So James Biscuit takes second. Stinos will be in fourth. Fifth will be Vedran. Anthony Amagino and Apex on the first lap of this race crashed out, and obviously we had everyone else in the first race who also crashed out. We'll hopefully have a stream for you tomorrow night for the Singapore Grand Prix. Just to double check very quickly. Yes, so Austria next week for Monday, and of course you'll be back with me on Sunday for the Japanese Grand Prix for Super Sunday Racing. And make sure to try and catch us tomorrow night if we're able to get someone to bring you the content for the Singapore Grand Prix. I hope so, because it's one of my favourites. I'm a bit mental like that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. We're almost at the 150 mark, so please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, hopefully we will see you tomorrow.